it's Davis, and if you are a type 2 diabetic and if you want to be able to control your blood sugar with very little work, that's exactly what I'm going to share with you. In fact, right now in this video, we're going to cover the 5 easiest blood sugar secrets ever. Let's go. Now, before I say another word, let me tell you something right now, okay? Like, whether you're looking to control your blood sugar for yourself, the people that you love, or even the people that you love you, like, know right now that, everything that you're about to see and or hear is far larger than me, that you have a huge supporter in me, because more than anything, I just want to lift you up and lift as many people as possible, because this is my goal, is my passion in life, to now go out and help save as many lives and help save as many families that deal and struggle with the same metabolic condition that I have, which is type 2 diabetes, okay? Because I sincerely believe, like, the faster that we help one another out, the faster we're, lift one another up, the faster we're saving lives. The faster we're saving lives, the faster we're saving families. And the faster we're saving families, the faster people just like you and I, whether we're sharing our stories, how we overcame challenges, or even if we're just sharing content like this, is how people just like you and I can change the world forever, okay? So know 100% that my heart is absolutely with you, okay? And along with that, more than anything, because I am chasing this, this passion, know right now that if you want, I actually created for you a 21-day blood sugar challenge, okay? I'm gonna give it to you absolutely for free. In fact, in there, I'm really gonna share, I'm gonna yank back the covers on probably almost everything that we've probably ever been told. I'm literally gonna be sharing you, like, with you, like, my numbers, as I'm eating, the different foods that I'm eating, and I even give you, like, content that you've probably never seen anywhere else. Everything from, like, how I lost my first 75 pounds without any drugs, exercise, or hardcore dieting, right? How I went from completely emotional, irrational, like, self-justifying, really, like, low self-esteem, and issues with food, and how I was able to make peace with that. I literally show you things like, how I'm able to shortcut a lot of the success behind a lot of these diets without any, like, hard work or any headaches whatsoever, okay? And all this other stuff. And I do this, again, 100% for free. It's going to be in the link that you'll see in the YouTube description below, okay? So know right now that my heart is absolutely with you. And yes, I sincerely believe that once we help save one another and help one another, save lives, save families, we all ultimately change the world together, okay? So let's get right into it. So trick number one, okay? Trick number one, here's how this all kind of came together for me, okay? So basically, emotional, irrational, token fat kid since the age of 9, basically, like, morbidly obese, vast majority of my life, until one day, I literally gone from, like, diet to diet, okay? So I started with, like, doing, vegan, then slow carb, then paleo, then, keto, then zero carb. And this didn't really click for me, kind of like somewhere towards, like, the last 3 quarters, right? So here's what happened, okay? So one day I was kind of like, I was doing keto, and I made this whole like baking dish of, Brussels sprouts, okay? Where it has, like, garlic butter, Parmesan cheese, and bacon, right? So I make a whole baking sheet of this thing, and I pull it out of the oven, okay? And the smell wafts me in the face, okay? And I only had, like, I think, like, 8 grams of, like, carbs left for the day, okay? And look, at the end of the day, like, I don't care if you put, like, garlic butter, Parmesan, and, like, bacon on, like, my wallet, I'm gonna find a way to eat it, okay? So anyways, long story short, guess what I did, okay? Like, yeah, I stuffed my face, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I just went ham on it, right? And the next thing you know, like, at the time, I had bought a Precision Extra, okay? And because I'm a goofball, okay, I'm not perfect, I bought the wrong strips. You know how you get, like, the best packages or whatever, buying things online, like packages or whatever? Goofball me, I bought the Precision Extra, but instead of buying the ketone strips, I bought the blood strips, okay? And I was so lazy to return it, I was just like, you know what, like, let me just use these ones, and then I'll buy the ketone ones later, okay? So anyways, I stuffed my face, clearly miles from ketosis, miles from ketosis, but then I tested my blood sugar, and I think it was, like, maybe, like, 113. And it was, like, totally normal. And I'm like, wait, what? You know what I mean? And I was like, all right, whatever. And to be totally honest, like, I kind of, like, had to, like, test myself, like, over and over and over again, really for 2 reasons. One, I didn't really believe it. And then, to be totally honest, because of, like, my low self-esteem and, like, dieting and stuff like that and failing forever, that's really, like, kind of, like, what gave me, like, more confidence to look at it. Because even if I had high blood sugar and I found, like, foods that didn't overspike it, that really, like, made me feel good and gave me, like, the confidence to do it more and more, right? So anyways, this happened again when my father actually had made some brisket, okay? He made some brisket, comes over to the brisket, and the smell of the brisket totally takes up the whole entire house. And if you leave me home alone with the brisket, guess what's gonna happen? Okay, yeah, I stuffed my face, okay? Like, just went crazy just to do the same thing. I checked my blood sugar. Blood sugar was totally normal. And what's crazy is look, if you would have told me, like, since the age of 9, right? Like, basically since the mid to late 80s, like, token fat kid, like, hey, look, like, what if you just ask yourself this one question, okay? And here's the question, Okay, here's the secret, okay? The secret is, what are foods that you already love? Okay, what are foods that you already love that just so happen to work well with your blood sugar? Okay, and here's why I say that. Okay, when I first started my whole diabetic journey, I started raw vegan, and it kind of like blew up in my face. Okay, and then I went through diet to diet to diet to diet to diet. Okay, so like basically I went from like raw vegan, I did slow carb, then I did like paleo, right? Paleo, like they're fighting with each other. If you ever like go real deep in the paleo circles, they're fighting with each other on like what people ate in like the 1800s in Japan versus like like Central America in the 1400s versus like the Paleolithic era as like a filter of what we eat today, right? Like, so obviously the common sense there is just get away from things that are GMO'd and they're processed, right? And at the same time, like, when I did like the whole keto thing, for me personally, I was always, trying to hit my macros and be all, like perfect or whatever. Even though I was, to be totally honest, I was never really perfect at dieting anyway. Look, at the end of the day, by the time I just had like a low carb cheeseburger, okay, and then I ate that and then I tested that, and you were like, hey, Davis, you've got to eat like, nothing but plants and forget animals, or Davis, you've got to eat like, perfect macros, or Davis, are people in like, South Africa in the 1400s, or like, purple yams in Japan in the 1800s. Look, if you made me jump through all these different hoops, or if you're just like, Davis, here's a cheeseburger, okay? Cheeseburger all day long, okay? Like cheeseburger, okay? Super, super simple, okay? Now, so that's secret number one, okay? Secret number one is start with foods that you already love, okay? If you don't want to do some weird dieting thing, this is like what freed me from dieting whatsoever. In fact, all these things did, okay? So anyways, number one, what are foods that you already love, okay? That work extremely, so number one is, what are foods that you already love that work extremely well with your blood sugar, okay? Normally it's going to be something, low carbohydrate, okay? So now, which leads us now to secret number two, okay? If you don't want to jump through a bunch of different hoops, okay? A bunch of different hoops, like doing a bunch of diet crap, okay? Like the pressure and the stress and all this other stuff of trying to like, fit that mold just doesn't, work for you or whatever. The same way it probably didn't work for me. Actually, it doesn't work for me forever, right? Like I know that all these different diets have good things. We all have highs and lows, right? But at the end of the day, telling me to eat the same way, the same thing every single meal, every single day for the rest of my life was kind of like, trying to tell me to wear that I wear the same jeans every single day, regardless of whether I was going to the beach or going to work or whatever, right? It was like food jail, right? So anyways, here's how I was able to also break that, okay? I took that same idea and instead of doing some weird hokey dieting thing, okay, I applied that same, what are foods that I already love that just so happen to work with my blood sugar? I applied it directly to what I was eating at the time, okay? I didn't want to do some weird hokey dieting thing. I'm like, what am I eating right now? And at the time, I'll give you some examples right now, okay? So at the time, I was eating cheeseburgers, which is why I used that example, okay? I was eating a lot of cheeseburgers. I was eating a lot of drive-through Mexican, okay? And I was also eating a lot of Chinese food, okay? So let me give you the examples there, okay? So obviously, when I go to a burger place, right, there used to be a Fat Burger here by my house, and we used to absolutely love that place. So I'll give you that example right now, okay? Cool. So I go to Fat Burger, okay? What can I have? What can I not have? Okay, well, I can't have the bread, and obviously the ketchup is going to go ahead and, spike my blood sugar, okay? Because it has a bunch of sugar in it, right? So what are two things, okay? So what are things on their menu that I already love that just so happen to work well with my blood sugar, okay? That allow me to stuff my face like an absolute pig, and to be totally honest, but still not do any damage and still really kind of be myself, okay? Here we go. So I can't have any ketchup, can't have any buns. Cool. Give me another patty, give me some extra cheese, give me some sauteed mushrooms, give me some full fat ranch dressing, right? Give me some blue cheese crumbles, give me bacon. It's Fat Burger, right? Give me an egg, right? Where are we at? 7, right? I know there's another one I'm probably missing. I know there's a handful more, but anyways, look, I got rid of 2. I got 7 in its place. Easy, right? Easy, all day long, okay? Second place, taco place, right? The tortillas, they serve like these street tacos that are like crack, okay? Like, oh my goodness, they're like crack, right? There should be like a 12-step program for them. Anyways, so cool. I can't have the tortillas, Frisbee those, okay, as good as they sound. What can I put in this place? More cheese, more guacamole, and maybe some sour cream or some crema, right? Cool. I get rid of 1, I got 3 in its place. Winning all day long, okay? The third one really kind of like was the challenge for me at the time because I was eating a lot of Chinese food, okay? So if I go to the Chinese food, I literally went there and I was like scratching my head and I'm like looking at the menu, looking at the whole tray thing there, right? And like the lady, she's like, what can I help you with? And I'm like, I can't eat that stuff. So I look up the menu and she's like, yo, what do you like, like, what can I get you? Because obviously it's super busy, right? And so next thing you know, I'm like, yeah, well, I just didn't know what to say, so I just told her the truth. I'm like, hey, look, I'm a type 2 diabetic, and I really just can't have any carbs. I can't have any sugar. I can't have any starch that they use to make the dressings and stuff like that, or the sauces and the gravies. I can't have any like rice or flour or anything like that. And she's like, okay, well, what can you have? And I'm like, okay, well, I can have like, chicken, fish, beef. I can have like vegetables and stuff like that, right? Like next thing you know, the owner gets involved and he just starts making all these one-off dishes, okay? Super, super killer stuff. And get this, right? Here's the best part about it, okay? 3 things, okay? Number 1, I was eating something that was completely fresh, okay? It wasn't sitting under a bloody heat lamp for only God knows how long, okay? Super, super fresh. It was made just for me, okay? Sure, it maybe cost like $1 or $2 more, like maybe $3 more, but here, check this out. Here's the biggest crazy hack that I got out of it, okay? By the time I had like all the fried rice and the fried noodles, because I go to like this Chinese place where they almost have like a competition on who can stack more crap in the plastic thing to where it barely even shuts and they even have to like tape it shut, okay? So by the time I like looked some of these things up, like on a food app, right? And I took like a little measuring cup, like a little half a cup is like this big, and you're like, dude, half a cup. And you look at how many calories it is, right? By eliminating that stuff, I actually dropped somewhere between like 750 and sometimes as high as, especially if I did like, just the straight all chow mein, which is all like just oil and noodles and stuff like that, like 1,500 calories in a single meal, okay? In a single meal, okay? And the next thing you know, I was dropping all this weight and I wasn't even trying, okay? Like, how hard is it to eat Chinese food? Not hard at all. And the cool thing about it is that, in fact, like, if you really want to like get it down in like one sentence, okay, super simple, right? So I asked the guy, the owner or whatever, hey, like, do you guys use like, are you guys using starches? And how do you guys make your like soups and stuff like that, right? And he's super proud, right? And he's like, no, I make it fresh every single day. Holds up this like pot or whatever. He's like, yeah, look. And like, because obviously he's like trying to show off to his customers that, obviously that he makes his stuff fresh every day, which is awesome, okay? At the same time, one sentence, okay? Cool. Give me wonton soup, no wontons, extra protein. Done, okay? Done. Secret number 3, start with the rule of 5, okay? Start with the rule of 5. Rule of 5, okay? Here we go. So if you want to be able to like outpace any diet and really kind of give yourself some freedom, the rule of 5 is something that we probably all do anyway, but it's huge, right? I just never had a chance to put it together for myself, okay? So here's what I mean, okay? So whenever I did all these different diets, okay, if you're anything like me, you go online, you like look up all these different like recipes or even like buy like a book or whatever. And if you're anything like me, like you don't do all the recipes at once, right? More than anything, you start with a handful, okay? And for me, I basically just said start with 5, okay? And so here's what I mean by that, okay? Because I had such a low self-esteem, I used to beat up on myself emotionally and irrationally when it came to food. Okay. And so next thing you know, I'd have like, as goofy as it sounds, I'd have like these little arguments with myself. Right. And then so what I ended up doing one day is I was just like, you know what? Like I would always say like, I need freedom, which I'm a huge believer of. And here's how I got it. Okay. So one day I was like, all right, man, I need freedom. I need to eat more foods than this diet allows me. Okay. So here's how I was basically able to break free from dieting. Okay. So I was like, how do I do that? Okay. And I'm like, okay, let me start with what I'm actually eating. Okay. Like I was like arguing with myself, like I need to call myself out on my own crap. And I'm like, okay, cool. How many foods do I really eat? Like how many meals do I really eat? Like that are really different. Okay. And the reason why I gave you that 3, the burger, the taco, and the Chinese place is because I say like 70 at that time, like 70 to almost 80% of my meals I ate from there. Okay. My lunches I ate there. You know how you have these streaks where you're just eating kind of like the same places, like same food places over and over, right? I ate there. And then at the same time, on the way home, I'd probably get it on the way home. Okay, one of those 3 places. Okay. Anyways, here's what I mean by starting with the rule of 5. Okay. So because I only ate so many places, even if I had like 30, 40, 50, okay, different meals or foods or whatever, here's how I broke free from dieting. Okay. So start with 5 foods. Okay. 5 foods a week. Okay. 5 foods or 5 meals per week. Okay. So at the end of the day, like the very, very worst that can absolutely happen if you have 3 classic meals a day, okay, and you pick 5 different meals or 5 different foods, is that the worst thing that would ever happen on week 1 is that you have to eat the same thing 3 times in a single week. Hey, I was editing this for you real quick, and I actually absolutely forgot to mention something. Here's what I mean by that, okay? So what you want to do is pick 5 meals, okay, 5 meals, and what we're going to do here is over the next 5 days, you basically have those meals, okay? So if you have 3 meals a day, Basically, you won't have to have it more than 3 times in that single week. And the reason why I say 5 days is to save the weekends to play with new recipes, right? Play with more food, enjoy more food, and then basically use those days, whether you're eating out with your family, playing with food at the house or whatever, basically, just playing with more foods. And then that way you have that next 5, for the following week. And the next thing you know, add another 5, add another 5, and add another 5. Here we go. Right? So when I say start with foods that you already like that work with your blood sugar, right? Start with 5. Okay. The next week, you have another 5. Okay. 5, right? I say that like super easy because, to be totally honest, like whether I was dieting or not, I was the guy that would like look at food online and be like salivating just because I like food so much. Okay. So I was basically just doing what I was going to do anyway. Okay. So 5. Okay. 5, 5, 5. Okay. The cool thing is like by the time we do that on the 3rd week, okay, that's like 15 different meals, 15 different foods or whatever. Like I'm basically eating something different every single meal, every single day, right? Now, which now really honestly, like I never really did that anyway, okay? However, to take it even further, right? On the following week, another 5, and following week, another 5, another following week, another 5. If anyone would have ever taught me that anytime that I was ever doing a diet, whether it was any of these diets that lasted me, like, I don't know, 5 days or 5 months or even 3 years, if I would have just applied that one rule of 5, I would have been free from dieting a long time ago, okay? Long time ago, okay? And here's secret number 4, which makes this extremely powerful, okay? Number 4 is take your time, okay? Take your time and have fun with it, okay? The reason why I'm saying, A, start with foods that you already like, right? That just so happen to work with your blood sugar. B, start with like where you're eating anyway, right? Which really, if you take like 5 minutes, I mean, like the whole, swapping burger thing out, like, I mean, literally, like they have all the condiments like listed for you. So you can literally just go, I want that one, not that one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Like it takes like a minute, right? Like literally like a minute, right? Saying like, wonton soup without the wontons, extra protein, that's like a minute, right? And the reason why I say that is when we say to take our time, it allows us to maybe step back, okay, and say, hey, like, I don't have to force myself. I don't have to like really work hard. I mean, like me tracking my macros was hard. Me avoiding it wasn't hard, right? But at the same time, like, let's take that also versus avoid everything that ever had anything animal in it versus D, you want a cheeseburger? I'll take the cheeseburger all day long. Right? D, you want some tacos? I'll take the tacos all day long. Just won't eat the freaking, just won't eat the tortillas or whatever, right? D, you want to go for some like Chinese food? All day long. And what that did is allow me to just take my time and give me the freedom that no other diet had given me, okay? And that's really the trick more than anything, okay? And secret number 5 is, here we go, embrace what no diet will ever embrace, which is yourself. Okay, embrace you, okay? And I mean that personally because there's 3 big places, right? Mentally, physically, and emotionally. And here's what I mean by that, okay? So for the longest time, because of the way that I failed dieting over and over and over, okay? I would beat myself up over and over and over. And it caused me to feel a particular way. I had like low self-esteem. I felt if you said diet, you might as well say the F word. You know what I mean? Like I just had that kind of feeling, that kind of connotation behind it, okay? So when I say embrace yourself, right? Here's what I mean by that. So A, that was the mentally part, right? So if I felt a particular way about dieting, right? When I had like my low self-esteem and I see like all these other people doing well, I'm like, oh, that's never gonna work for me or oh, whatever, right? I would actually like, the more that I actually kind of embraced myself instead of the diet, right? Embraced myself, I was like, okay, D, let's be real here. Why are you saying that to yourself? Like, why am I doing that to myself? And why do I play this game with myself? And like, why would I beat myself up, right? The faster that I made things far more effective and easier on myself, as goofy as it sounds, those were really just kind of like tricks for me to kind of like to pull the weeds apart and kind of like pull back the layers of the onion and for me to actually make peace with all the things that I had within me. Because for the longest time, I'd be like throwing rocks at other people doing well when me really doing that was just a reflection of myself. You know what I mean? Totally just a reflection of myself. And 2, when I say physically, okay? 2, when I say physically, here's what I mean, okay? So I have a friend who's part Samoan. Okay, and since we were like, I've known him for a while now. So we were a while back when I first met him. It didn't matter what he ate. Okay, he ate whatever, and it dang near almost always turned into muscle. Okay, and like, no, I wished I could do that, right? And I have this other friend, okay, and his name is Tim, and I've known him for like almost 30 years, okay. And Tim, like, he's Vietnamese, okay, he's like 5'6", okay, and like I've known him forever. He can eat whatever he wants. And he doesn't gain any bloody weight, okay? We'll go to like buffets together. I've known this, like I said, I've known this guy for 30 years, okay? Now, it would be pretty, because of their genetics, right, and the way their body works, it would be pretty unfair for me to be like, well, why can't I be like this guy and eat like everything I want and like gain muscle? Or why can't I be like this guy and, you know, eat everything I want, not gain a pound? Look, when I ate everything I wanted, I became type 2 diabetic, right? And the crazy thing is like, you know, I would see other versions of this in the dietary world, right? Like from the diet industry, they'd be like, look, here's the 500-year study from like China or whatever. Like, what if I'm not Chinese? You know what I mean? Or like, here's what the Inuit eat, or here's what the Maasai eat. I'm like, you know, high five to the Africans, but like, what if I'm not African? You know what I mean? Like, what if I have different genes? Like here's the thing is, what's funny about that is my parents or my grandparents, were migrant farmers from the Philippines. I love the Philippines, okay? Like, beautiful culture. So like, that was actually kind of close to like being like a Chinese farmer, right? Especially when there's a lot of Chinese influence with the Filipinos. At the same time, like, when I went vegan and followed that path, it blew up in my face, okay? So here's what I mean by that. When we understand that everybody's body is different, okay? That everybody's body is different. Their DNA is different. What they were raised were different. What they crave is different. What they're probably going to eat tomorrow is different. Like, all of that stuff is unique to you as your fingerprint, okay? Embrace yourself, okay? Hold on to you. Like, allow your body to tell you what's working. And here's why I say that, okay? Okay. For the longest time, I was always told, listen to your body. And it'd come from like these like health people. You know what I mean? And I'm like, look, man, if you want me to listen to my body, sure, let's go eat some pizza. You know what I mean? Like, come on. At the same time, because of the way that the diet industry had failed me so many times, and because of the way that it caused me to beat up on myself, and because of the way that it made me look like I had to be perfect when I'm not perfect, okay? I was scared to look at like my blood sugar numbers. To be totally honest, like, I might sound cool looking at my blood sugar numbers and showing them off sometimes online and stuff like that. To be totally honest, a lot of that came out of like insecurity, okay? So, and to be totally honest, that didn't even start until it happened by accident, which is why I share the whole blood meter story, right? So, yeah, embrace the body, because look, here's the deal. When I went from different diet to diet, some of them blew up in my face, totally blew up in my face, right? And the reason why is because I was listening to like these different diet people, and I never actually embraced myself. I never embraced what my body was trying to tell me. I would, depending on what different diet it was, I was going through stalls, I'd go through plateaus, I would get, signs, that things weren't working. And instead of like listening to my body and embracing my body, I would listen to these other people trying to tell me to force my body to do something it doesn't want to do, which in essence was really kind of like making me have bigger issues in the long run. Okay, which is a huge reason why I had issues with food in the first place. Okay, so that's that. Okay, and then number 3 is going to be when I say like emotionally. Again, it really just allowed me to peel back the covers, since I was always the token fat kid since a kid. Allowed me to now step back and say, hey, like, let's make peace with that, man. It's okay. It's totally okay. Things that may have happened in the past might not be our fault as to how and why we got here, but it's now our responsibility to do what's right and help each other out and make peace with what we got inside. Okay, so yes, I absolutely hope that serves you well. Know again, my heart is absolutely with you, and you have absolutely every single thing within you that it takes to crush type 2 diabetes on your own terms. Again, if you want a free 21-day blood sugar challenge, I'm gonna give it to you for free. Again, in there you're gonna see how I'm able to easily control my blood sugar with very little work. How I was able to lose my first 75 pounds without any drugs, exercise, or hardcore dieting. I'm gonna just really kind of do as much as I can to help save as many lives and help save as many families that deal and struggle with the same thing that I have. So my name is Davis. I hope you enjoy this content, and my heart's with you. All right, have an awesome day. Hey! What am I saying? I'm at a loss for words. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Yeah. Far wherever you are. Chloe, the video's over. Are you there? Love you, puppy. Are you still here? Dude, you gotta go to the 21-day blood sugar challenge, okay? Like, I promise you. I even got a gift. I didn't, like, tell you I made you a gift. Yeah, I made you a gift in there. And, yeah, so if you go there right now, you'll not only see how I was able to do all this cool stuff or whatever, yeah, you got a free gift coming to you. So go there. Go there. Go there.